Oh my god. So, can you see the... Okay, there we go. Boo, yeah. Hey, I'm gonna be like hunched over. So, hey guys. I'll do this for a minute. Oh, you don't need to see my face, but I guess you're gonna have to. So, a week ago... Hi. First off, hello. Welcome back to the Joshua Turbo's Twitch stream / Game Huggers. A week ago, I did a stream that was live in using my phone, going over what I assumed was going to be my Turbografx / PC Engine Obey library, which we started with over here, going all the way down. We got through all the hue cards last Thursday, I think it was last week, whatever. It was a week ago. And today, we're going to continue that. But I only have about a half an hour to do that. So I'm not going to be able to get through all the rest of it because there's just so much garbage. And by garbage, I mean the best fucking video game library in the history of all time. So, hey, hello, one viewer. I'm basically just doing this for fun because someone on the stream a couple weeks ago asked, hey, what games do you actually have for your PC Engine collection / library? And I said, would you guys like to see me do an actual stream of just going through the games? And they said, heck yeah, man. So that's what we're going to do. Hey, Buddy the Elf. What's up, big man? So we're going to go ahead and start going through the CD-ROM stuff. So we did do the hue cards last week, so you can go through my videos, or you can always check me out on YouTube. I always upload all of these videos to YouTube a day or two after they stream live, which if you ever want to find any of my social media contacts, dude, going vinyl hunting, heck yeah, man. That's so cool. Bring me with. You can always hit me up on Twitterverse @_Joshua Turbo. Don't forget the underscore, as it is the most important underscore in all the internet. Or you can check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/GameHuggers. And Facebook.com/GameHuggers as well. All right, so the CD-ROM collection section of the PC Engine collection section is actually the tiniest portion of the game collection. And why that is I'm not actually sure. But for those that are new to the Turbografx world, I think there was about 140-ish games that came out in the US. So a pretty tiny little game collection. A lot of amazing games in that collection. But over in Japan, well over 600 games came out. A lot of them are very affordable. A lot of them are amazing games. Half of them, there's a pretty decent language barrier, so you got to have a little bit of Japanese knowledge to it. But the other half, they're for everybody. They got English in them. They don't have any dialogue at all. Shoot 'em ups, action games, all kinds of stuff like that. So a lot of these CD-ROMs games, and of course the hue cards and the Super CD-ROM games, you'll notice that they're in Japanese, but they're very, very playable in English. So you can't have a Turbo PC Engine collection without also having some Japanese games, in my opinion, because the best games were left in Japan. First, I wanted to show you one quick thing, though. That is this little guy right here. This is actually the Turbografx Mini that came out a year ago-ish. And it's actually stock loaded with Turbo games and PC Engine games. In the US, it was actually released that way. So the top is all the Turbografx games, and then on the bottom, there's tons of amazing PC Engine games out there on this actual package. It's probably the best bang for your buck mini console there's ever been released. It was about $100. Dude, it's loaded with games. I mean, it's like the best of the Turbo collection right here. Which also includes some Super CD-ROM games and some CD games. So like things like Alien Crush, Blazing Lasers, Dungeon Explorer. You got R-Type, Splatterhouse, Space Harrier, Ninja Spirit, Newtopia, Bonk's Revenge, Eastbook 1 and 2, Lords of Thunder, which interestingly is missing from here though is Gate of Thunder. But it also has Airzonk, Bomberman 93, and then all the PC Engine games. There is, oh my gosh, Ninja Gaiden, Salamander, which is Life Force in America, Gradius, Newtopia 2, Spriggan, Choaniki, Dracula X is on this bad boy. Like, this is an awesome way to play games. If you don't have a lot of Turbografx stuff or don't have any Turbografx stuff, and you just want to play, the best way to do it is right here. Yeah, no, I'm not giving this away. But you can come and play it at our local game conventions like EverCon and LinkCon. We'll have this guy along with all the other real original retro hardware at both those conventions. All right, so let's jump in to the CD-ROM collection. I think, in addition, if I can get through these in a fairly decently quick manner. I'll even show off some PC Engine FX stuff, because the PC FX is the sort of follow-up console that came out in Japan, which flopped miserably. But of course I've got one. So I can show you some of those games. I only have like 5, and then the console itself, which is actually boxed. So it's pretty slick. All right, so HuCards were here. Super CD-ROM is the entire other side, all the way to the bottom. It's a ridiculously large collection, so that's going to be its own whole video, and I'll probably need over an hour to go through those, because the Super CD-ROM games on the Turbografx are my absolute favorite. I think they're the most impressive looking games. That also includes the arcade card stuff, which is up here. Arcade card games, what's an arcade card game? Like the highest quality freaking fighting games that you can possibly have, like Fatal Fury Special, which is like an amazing port of the Neo Geo game. All right, so I'm going to stop talking about that. Otherwise, I'll ramble on forever. All right. CD-ROM stuff. So I've only got a handful of American CD-ROM games, but this is the first one on the top, Monster Lair. Did you see the dust pop off of it? Oh, that's pathetic. I have a boxed for this one as well. Monster Lair is it's a part of the Monster World series, which I might actually have. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Oh, no, wait. Let's see. Let's find out. No, this is a different game. I'm looking over here in the corner for Genesis stuff. But Monster Lair is an auto-scrolling Monster Boy game. Really fun game. It's really got a great soundtrack and awesome music and awesome graphics. This also came out on the Genesis as Wonder Boy and Monster Lair, I believe. Good game. That's the CD-ROM of it. Of course, no collection is complete without Fighting Street. Fighting Street was actually the original Street Fighter that came out in the US in 1989 on the CD-ROM system. Fighting Street, why did they call it Fighting Street? I'm not really sure, because the arcade game was decently popular, and if we would have gotten a real version of Street Fighter 1 in the US, I think people would have been really stoked for it, so I'm not really sure. Street Fighter 2 Hyper Turbo Challenger Turbo Bonus Hyper Tournament Super. Yes, this is it. No, it's not. But it's interesting because in the 16-bit era, there was only one game console that got both Street Fighter games. Had Street Fighter 1 and Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. Now, this is the HuCard version of the game of Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, but it's also my personal favorite. I love this game. A HuCard. This game is really freaking spot on for being a HuCard. It looks and sounds just as good or better than the Super Nintendo and the Genesis versions of Street Fighter 2. It's freaking awesome. Obviously, we're not talking about that. I should have talked about that last time more. All right, one of my favorite CD-ROM games is Last Alert. I remember getting this in like a pack deal with... God, I got this, Fighting Street, and I think Valis 3 for $20 back in the day when they were clearancing off Turbografx stuff. But this is an awesome game. It's a game not too different from like your top-down shoot-'em-up games like Mercs or Bloody Wolf. Remember Bloody Wolf on the Turbo? But this game has a lot of role-playing elements to it because you actually level up as you go. And the game is fairly long. Like, it takes a couple hours to get through. Wink, you're there. This is so weird. When I have the video on... You sound super hollow, but when it's audio only, it sounds much better. Uh-oh, maybe... I don't know. The microphone's right there. I could get a better microphone, maybe. Anyway, I got messages popping up. My phone is, of course, the slowest. I'm sorry. Oh, I don't know. I can listen to it later. Maybe I'm just talking to myself now. I would just put it on audio only then. Nobody wants to see me. But Last Alert... Great wartime running gun type game with a lot of RPG elements in it. Big, awesome game. What was the best Turbografx exclusive fighting game? Exclusive fighting game? We didn't get a lot, but a good possible... Here's two. I'll give you two that are possibilities. Best fighting games on the Turbografx. Is either Far East of Eden Kabuki Clash, which is actually an arcade card fighting game. Excellent, excellent game. It looks really good. Or, in an oddball choice, is Advanced VG. Advanced VG, Advanced Variable Geo, I think is what they would call it. Yeah, see? Advanced Variable Geo. They're both really good one-on-one fighting games. This one's an arcade card game, so it's got quite a bit bigger sprites, better music. There's a lot of Turbografx fighting games, honestly. Not Turbografx, these are PC Engine. So, but Advanced VG is really good, and Far East of Eden Kabuki Clash. If you've ever heard of the Far East of Eden games, that's a long-running RPG series, and this is actually the fighting game based on it. There was a version of this, not a version, another Kabuki Clash that came out on the Neo Geo, which actually plays kind of similar to Samurai Showdown. Now, this one does not play like that one at all. It's actually an original fighting game. It's just awesome. And Advanced VG is really good, too. Another one. Hold on. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I don't know. Well, darn it. I'll have to dig. There's a Ranma Half fighting game, too, that came out for this system. And I actually really, really dig it. I think it's a lot of fun. This might be it. This is this is Ranma Half. This is a fighting game, a one-on-one fighting game. And it actually has a really good storyline mode because in between each battle, you get an FMV cutscene. And it's a really awesome fighting game. You can see some of the cutscenes there. Ranma Half, there's like a trilogy of there's like a trilogy of Ranma games on the Turbo. And this is a good one, too. All right. Any other questions? Otherwise, we always got Godzilla. Godzilla came out in the US, and so did Fighting Street. For one-on-one fighters, that might have been it. That's the weird thing, is maybe that's why you remember it, because there aren't very many Turbografx fighting games. In Japan, they got tons. We got a port of Fatal Fury Special. We got World Heroes 2, Street Fighter 2. Art of Fighting came out on the PC Engine. Like, tons of fighting games. There's other ones, too. Black Hole Assault came out. Oh, Flash Hiders. This is a one-on-one fighter. Flash Hiders, this is it's pretty good, actually. I wasn't expecting much from it because a lot of people kind of dog on it once in a while, but it's made by Right Stuff, the same team that made Terraforming, so Sid Mead's Terraforming, but it's also a really good fighting game. It's a lot of really good stuff there. All right, so continuing down this CD-ROM stuff, we talked about Last Alert, and now Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes was one of the first ever FMV games. Matter of fact, when the Turbografx first came out, and this is actually a turbo version too. All these games have been turbo versions so far. I love that. You unlock the Famicom disk systems emoji. Is that emote? Anyway, Sherlock Holmes is one of the first ever FMV games ever made. This, along with It Came from the Desert, kind of made the Turbografx, put it on the map in like 1990. I remember seeing the FMV sequences in the video of those two games, and I was like, holy cow, real video and games. But this one's really fun. It's actually a good game. It doesn't have much replayability, though, because there's just 3 cases to solve, and once you've solved them once, you probably just can solve them again really easily. But it's a fun game, Sherlock Holmes. Cosmic Fantasy 2. Cosmic Fantasy 2 was kind of wondering... this is actually a working designs game as well. And this game was a huge deal when it first came out in the US. It was actually, obviously, it's Cosmic Fantasy 2. In Japan, they got 4. So there's 1 through 4 that came out in Japan. And 4 was actually split apart into 2 games. So it was actually 5 games in the series. And sadly, the only one we ever got was the second one. And it's a lot of your usual Cosmic Fantasy, or sorry, not Cosmic Fantasy, but your usual, that's weird, your usual working designs flavor of game, where it has really funny text, really great cutscenes, amazing music. But it's aged fairly poorly over the years. I really do like the game, but it has a really bad system with random battles, and it's the type of thing when you're in a dungeon and you'll take 3 steps and get in a random battle, and then you finally get through the random battle after 2 minutes, and then you take 3 more steps and boom, another battle. And it's just, that's kind of how the game works forever, and you grind a ton. It's fun, and it's a good game, and it's got a great storyline, but it could be so much better. Like, this game is really close to, with a little bit of more game testing and some more cleaning up on certain things, it could be like as big or as good as Lunar. And Lunar is obviously one of the best Japanese RPGs ever created on the Sega CD, but this is kind of the Turbografx equivalent of it, if you would believe that to be. All right, so then on Tuesday night, If you watch the stream, you may have noticed that I just beat this game. This is what I would consider the greatest action-adventure RPG ever created. It's Eastbook 1 and 2. I could talk about this a whole lot more, but do I really need to? It's friggin' fantastic. It's such a wonderful game. This is the Turbografx 16 CD version, so it's actually in English. Matter of fact, all these games that I've shown off so far are in English. However, this is the last one that I have in US. The rest of them will be PC Engine games. But yeah, if you want to see the gameplay of this, the last 3 Tuesday nights in a row, I've played through this game and wound up beating Eastbook 1 on Tuesday night. So a lot of fun with Eastbook 1. Or Eastbook 1, depending on who you are. This is East 3. This is the Japanese version of East 3, and I actually prefer it when it comes to the Turbografx version because the Turbo version has terrible voice acting. But it's okay because the game is not as open world as Eastbook 1 and 2 is, even if Eastbook 1 and 2 aren't necessarily that open world. But you have the options to go wherever you want. You can get lost in dungeons and stuff like that. This game, not really so much. It's more of a straightforward side-scrolling action-adventure game. If I had to compare it to anything, it's kind of like Castlevania 2-ish. Maybe Zelda 2-y, a little bit. But it's really fun. If you've never played it, you should. I love this game. The soundtrack alone is worth playing it. From beginning to end. It's one of the best soundtracks ever made. That's East 3. A lot of fun. I have that on the Genesis and the Super Nintendo as well, and it's weird. Like, the Turbo version is really good, and the music is amazing. But the Genesis version has the best graphics, and I was first introduced to the Super Nintendo version of it. Matter of fact, the Super Nintendo version of East 3 is the first East game I've ever played. Never knew what the series was before that. So I was like, what is this? And I played East 3 first, then I played Eastbook 1 and 2, and so I was like, holy shit, Eastbook 1 and 2 are even better games. And then that led me to freaking fall in love with East 4 later on the Turbo. Pumping World, otherwise known as Buster Brothers in the US. Very, very fun date night type game. Play it with your friend, play it with your lady. It's a really fun game, Buster Brothers. Yeah, it's a really good game. You don't need any Japanese knowledge to play it, and it's fairly cheap, so definitely go out and try it. I know the Super Nintendo one was called Super Buster Brothers. However, in that game, it's only one player. Can you believe that? Why did Nintendo always do that? Why did Capcom always make one-player games on the Nintendo? But this one's 2 players, and it's a better game than the Super Nintendo one is, that's for sure. Here's actually the original Cosmic Fantasy. I forgot that I grabbed these. I think I got this for like $2. It's the Japanese one, so you obviously need to know some Japanese to be able to play this game. And I know Skoshi wakarimasen. I do not know any Japanese hardly at all. Just a skosh. But enough to play through a little bit of this and know that it's a pretty good, pretty straightforward RPG. If you wanted more information about the Cosmic Fantasy universe, you can always play this. Then next up, Eldis. Eldis is a shoot-'em-up game on the regular CD-ROM, actually, sorry. Made by Messiah, or NCS. Good game. Good shoot-'em-up. I actually haven't played it in a really long time, so I kind of really can't even really comment on it. But it's a fun one. It's a good one. Need to play it some more. Here is Shockman 3. So, Shubibi Man 3, I should say. You may have seen on my stream, like 2 or 3 Saturdays ago, I played through Shubibi Man 2, or Shockman. This is the 3rd game in this series. Honestly, this game, it looks so pretty and plays so well that I have a hard time remembering that it's only a CD-ROM game. It looks and plays like a Super CD-ROM game, so it's really fun. However, it's really, really easy. So if you want an action-adventure side-scrolling game that you can play through in an afternoon in about 45 minutes, sometimes without even dying, this is the game. It's super easy, which is really funny because Shockman, or Shubibi Man 2, is very hard. If you remember from my live stream, I had to cheat at the end to save myself a few times. But this one's really easy. I could play this on a stream at some point. It's a very easy game. Very fun. Very fun. Oh, Download 2. Let's see here. Yes, Download 2. Awesome game. This is the original Download 2. Frickin' beautiful, beautiful shoot 'em up. It's got a really good soundtrack. There is actually a Download 2 remastered that my friend Tim made. And I'm going to see if I got it down here. I don't know where it is. No, I don't know where it went, but I got it somewhere down here. Well, I got a Download 2 remastered. I don't know exactly where it went, but my friend Tim from Electro Haze put it together, and it's really, really, really good. This is actually a booty of Spriggan 91 with the Carnival. You can see it's a booty. It's got a CD-ROM. Obviously, this is not an original, but it's a good way to play Spriggan. The original Spriggan, really, really good shoot 'em up as well. These are games that honestly are so good that I forget at times that they're just regular CD-ROM games because they are really, really good games. All right, then I've got Valis 2, 3, and 4. And if you're thinking to yourself, wait a second. Yeah, they're not the originals. These are actually copies of them. This is actually Valis 2, the US and the Japanese version. Valis 3, the Japanese and US version. And then Valis 4, which I believe includes a Lasersoft visual collection of the original, or of Valis. They're not worth anything. These are classic Tobias specials, but they work really well, and they're also very fun games. So Valis 2, 3, and 4. Great games. The Valis games, you have had to have played a Valis game. Valis 4 came out on the Super Nintendo in America. Valis 2 and 3 came out on the Genesis in America. 2 and 3 came out on the Turbografx CD in America. Side-scrolling action-adventure games, similar-ish to Castlevania, maybe? But more high-tech, more futuristic, and the soundtracks are a little bit more upbeat. And you also play as female protagonists. Then you can felt in the manhole. The Manhole. This is actually a story of Alice in Wonderland. It's a point-and-click adventure game. It's actually really fun. I like this one a lot. Crazy. Then we've got... I can't remember if this one's... Nope, it's... yeah. Zero Wing. Classic shoot 'em up Zero Wing on the Super CD. This came out on the Genesis as well. I actually do prefer the Genesis version, shockingly. A little bit better than this one. And then I think I've got just a couple more regular... Oh, no, I got a whole bunch more CD-ROM games down here. Oh, shoot. Okay, let me grab a couple at a time here now. All right. Here is Far East of Eden Ziria, a great RPG game on the original CD-ROM. The second... this is the second in the series, I think. There's another one on the Super CD-ROM that is incredible with such good cutscenes, music. Holy shit. These Far East of Eden games are really high quality. It's a shock that we never got them in the US. I shouldn't say shock. It's a shame we never got them in the US because they genuinely are just as epic and just as wonderful as like the Dragon Quest series or Final Fantasy. They're so well done. And then Lasersoft's Cosmic Fantasy 3. Got Cosmic Fantasy 3 as well. I believe that 4 is down there too, at least the first part of 4. I got that down there as well. It's a double disc one, or a double cased one. It's not double disc though because it's just a thick manual that's in there, I think. All right, now I'm gonna grab a couple. Whoops. And actually, I shouldn't have shown you Cosmic Fantasy 3 because that's a freaking Super CD-ROM game. What am I doing? Hey, let me grab a couple at a time here. Oh, okay, I see it. This is the Download 2 remastered. This is the one that Tim did over at Electro Haze. So if you're not a part of the Dark City Productions Facebook group, head on over there because he made this, and oh my god, the soundtrack is so good. It's improved in every way, and it sounds so wonderful. Man, I love it. Sorry, that was upside down. Download 2 remastered. Wonderful. Minesweeper. If you've ever played Minesweeper, you know this game. Except for it's got some really fun side story line mode version of it, like Cook's Quest. Cook's Quest is freaking hilarious. It turns like Minesweeper into sort of an RPG. Super Darius, or Darius, it's fine. I've never been the biggest Darius fan until like the Saturn with Darius Gaiden, or Gaiden. They're much better on the Saturn, in my opinion. These games are pretty well done, average shoot 'em ups. This one's no different. G Darius and Darius Gaiden. are both really good on the Saturn. On the PC Engine, they're just fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with them. They're fine. Alright, let's see. Oh, then we got the Ranma games. This is, one is like a side-scrolling beat-em-up, Ranma. And then this one, I believe, is the one with tons of cutscenes. I think it's like a digital comic / dating sim. They're all done by Messiah, though, so they're really good. These two, and then the other one, the fighting game, are all really good. And then, of course, the Japanese version of Splash Lake. What a great game. Really fun puzzle game. Hard as hell, though. Like, really, it is. It is very tough. Splash Lake is really fun. It's actually did come out in the US, but the Japanese version's a lot cheaper, so that's why I have the Japanese one. All right. We only got two more. Two more to get through for the PC Engine CD-ROM, and then I will talk about the PCFX. Let's see, what are these last two? I think... Oh, no, Rainbow Islands, the CD-ROM version. Not much to say about this. Fun game. It's exactly like the Hue card with some like Red Book audio, though. So it's pretty fun. If you like Bubble Bobble, then you'll like this because it's fun. This one, not even sure what the name of it is. Shit. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's a dating sim. I'm pretty sure I got this in some kind of a throw-together pack. It's like, here, take this one too, and I'm like, oh, great. It's not Pia Carrot. It's something else. Don't know it. I honest to God, sometimes I get these discs and don't even really know what they are, and then the main reason for having them is just to listen to the music or watch really groovy cutscenes. But that one I had no idea. No idea. All right, so that leaves the only thing left for the PC Engine is all the Super CD-ROM stuff. So I'm going to do my best to get through that at some point. But for now, let me chat with you guys about the PCFX. So the PCFX was the follow-up game console to the PC Engine in Japan. This is what one of the controllers looks like. It's a 6-button controller. Why they felt the need to make a 6-button controller for this console, we don't know, but the Saturn was doing it. Most consoles were pushing towards more buttons on their things, on their controllers, so it was like, okay, you need a 6-button pad. But are there any fighting games on this console? Not really. Are there any action-adventure games on this console? FX, was that Zenki FX? And Zero Gyre? Those are like your two action games. Oh, Chip Chan Kick. There was like a Rara Luli, or whatever. The fact of the matter is that PCFX was built by NEC to almost exclusively just be for FMV games. So they wanted really badly for you to play FMV games on this thing. The console itself, though, is such a cool design. It's built like a PC tower. And actually the sides and the back come off of it very easy. You just click them open and pull them out. Because they were considering putting expansion packs in it. So you could buy like a new graphics card for your PCFX, or you could buy an expansion RAM pack for your PCFX and not have to do like serious surgery to your console. You just pop it open like a PC. Such a cool concept. The console itself, when it initially was released, it was considered 32-bit. Some of the graphics looked somewhere between early Saturn and like later Super Nintendo. A lot of good color, a lot of nice graphical effects, and the FMVs looked spectacular on this. PCFX games that are FMV based exclusively look better than original PlayStation, Saturn, 3DO. They look so good, especially Saturn and 3DO. Like the PCFX can do full motion video almost to the point where it looks like a Laserdisc. Like it looks so good, and so that's really what they were pushing hard with this. So a lot of the games that came out for it were very thick in Japanese and very thick in video. Like some games were just entirely just videos you watched, interacted with. Sort of like Dragon's Lair, you know. And no, not Dragon Slayer, I meant Dragon's Lair. But anyway, here's a couple games that I really enjoyed getting for the PCFX. Anime Freak 4. So, obviously, the PCFX, if you haven't figured this out by now, with a lot of FMV sequences and a lot of anime-inspired Japanese games, it pushed the anime hardcore. So if you love anime and you know Japanese really well, and you're okay with a little bit of smut in your games, because some of them are pretty risky, then the PCFX is actually up your alley, because it has tons and tons and tons. And by tons, I mean like 60. 67 total games, I think, came out for it. But about 60 games that are just anime, where you can watch and interact with, and you're just, you're doing little things here and there. But one of the series that I actually really enjoyed the most, and this is actually a disc. Actually, it's the 5th one I got. Anime Freak 5, I actually got this in Japan for a couple bucks from a game store. And all this is just you watching cutscenes and stuff from animes and interacting with them and walking around and talking to people and listening to voice actors and special like behind the scenes interviews and stuff. Like, it's pretty cool. No real game to this, but there's a lot of stuff you can do and interactive stuff you can watch and listen to. Same with Anime Freak 4. It's the same idea, and those are the only 2 I have, but they had obviously released a bunch of those. Blue Breaker. Blue Breaker is a really pretty decent RPG game that came out for the system with, of course, a ton of FMV sequences. The game looks really pretty, and it's a pretty decent RPG. Good stuff. That's a really good game. Very, very thick in the Japanese, though, so you have to know some Japanese to play it. Let's see. Then in here, I've got Team Innocent. So this is obviously not the real case for it, but Team Innocent, got this for a couple bucks. It's a loose disc with the instructions manual. The game is a sort of a survival horror in a spaceship type game. Plays actually very similar to Resident Evil. You walk around with tank controls and kind of like figuring things out, opening up locks, putting pieces of things together, figuring out puzzles, and getting blown into space. Pretty fun game. It's actually one of the better games that I would use as an example on what the PCFX can do. But this is what the actual PCFX games looked like when they were first released. Huge cases. Like if you look at the PC Engine case and what a game looked like, and it's like, well, you can tell the PCFX is more powerful because look at how big the game case is. Well, yeah, I guess. Okay. This is a dating sim. I think this is Neon Generation 2. Neo Generation FX, actually. And inside of here is just a big giant sponge and a big, big manual. Manuel. And then the game behind it. Jesus. Yeah, these things suck. Oh, sorry, I'm not holding it up high enough. But behind here, you have to pull... Like, all this wasted plastic just to get a disc in here. It was such a dumb idea. Like, this really is not the best thing. Such a waste of plastic. I can't believe they actually went along with this in Japan. But yeah, PCFX games are in huge cases that are actually, I don't know, maybe they're, let's see here. They're a little bit bigger than Genesis games. This is obviously a bad game to give as an example, but Streets of Rage 2 Ninja Turtles. It's a little bit bigger than an actual Genesis case, but not quite as big as the king of them all. The Neo Geo, because Neo Geo's the biggest frickin' cases you can find out there are definitely your Neo Geo cases. But they're big. They are big regardless. And that is actually all of the legitimate... that's all of the legitimate... I got the wrong games. That's all the legitimate PCFX games I do have. Actually, I have a couple booties that were made, or translations, and I can show you those, because the PCFX is incredibly expensive to collect for if you want to have a library for it. But if you're looking for some games that are a couple $100 each, that I'm not willing to buy for a couple $100 each because I just don't think they're all that good. Zenki FX, pretty fun action adventure game. This is a bootleg of it. I'm not going to... It cost me like $1 to make rather than $200 to purchase. This is Zero Agar, the one shoot 'em up on the PCFX. Why would they do that? The PC Engine was loaded with wonderful shoot 'em ups. Well, the PCFX had one, and this is it. And it's good. It's fine. When I first started playing it, I hated it. I actually thought it was a really bad shoot 'em up. I didn't understand why people were into it. But then as I got playing it, I realized there's quite a few nice and interesting techniques to the game, and you actually do have like a leveling up system that I started to understand, and actually this is a pretty good game. If it was on the PC Engine, though, it would pretty much just fall somewhere in mediocrity. It would be like, not a bad game, but not a great game either. But For the PCFX, it's a must-have. It's the best shoot 'em up because it's the only one. And then this one, I believe, is Pia Carrot, the English translation game. This is a dating slash sexy time sim. I'm trying to see if I can even show these pictures. Oh yeah, they're somewhat covered. But yeah, it's got some nudie pics in it. It's a dating sim. You can score by scoring with chicks. And then of course Chip Chan Kick, which is a fun puzzle bobble. I shouldn't say puzzle bobble. It's bubble bobble Chip Chan Kicky. I just literally used its own name in its definition. Wow. It's like a Bubble Bobble, Parasol Stars, Snow Brothers type game. Single screen puzzle platformer game. It's pretty fun. But there's a lot left to be desired. The PCFX is good if you enjoy dating sims, simulation style games, comic books, FMV sequences, and you understand Japanese very well. Then it's fine for you. For anybody else, though, pass. I got mine for an amazingly good deal, and I don't purchase huge, crazy expensive games. I let the games that are out there kind of fall in my lap. I'll pick them up if it's part of a lot or a really good deal. But yes, as you can see, my PCFX collection's like 4 games and then like 4 bootlegs. So, but yeah, that's the CD-ROM side. I will try to find time to do the entirety of the Super CD-ROM stuff. There's a lot there, though. So if it takes me a while to figure out a way to do all this and kind of pull each disc out and give a little mini review, I'll find time to do it. But I don't know when I will. Is it going to be next week? Probably not, because next week's Thanksgiving. But by all means, we're definitely going to do it. Just give me some time to figure out when to do it. I could always do it in sections or something, because there's like, what, 100 games here more? There's a lot. But I'll get to it anyway, eventually. So, all right, cool. I hope you guys had a good time checking out this. It was a lot of fun to just kind of record me rambling about random games. And I'll see you guys later. Saturday morning, we're going to do some Card Fighters Clash. Tuesday night, we're going to do something new. I don't know if I'm going to play some NES or something, but we'll play something. We'll find something else out. And then until next time, follow me on Twitter. Check out Facebook Game Huggers. Check out YouTube Game Huggers. Check out all our junk, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace! Ending stream.